they are actually very unique, right? I'll explain to you how reefs are formed. If you go to these rocks on the corner there, and you'll see it on today's reef, those rocks are sandstone, okay? Now, the way that it was formed was that there were two ice ages, one approximately 80,000 years ago and one approximately 150,000 years ago, okay? Because if you have a look, all our reefs run parallel to the shore. They're all approximately 500 meters offshore, and from here all the way up, I mean, even in Mozambique, it just keeps on going, and it's the same kind of set of reefs, okay? Now, what happened is, if you have a look at the sand dune here, okay, the sand dune is approximately between 50 and 100 meters from the water away, and what happens is when it rains, the rain itself picks up sulfur and stuff in the air, and you end up with H2SO4, which is sulfuric acid, okay? That rains onto these sand dunes, sulfuric acid dissolves the limestone and stuff that's in the sand, sinks down to the bottom, solidifies and turns into sandstone. So at the bottom of all of these ridges of this dune is a ridge of sandstone, okay? Now what happened was, during those two ice ages, the sea level was obviously another 20 to 50 meters shallower than what it is now. So our reefs used to be the sand dune 80,000 and 150,000 years ago. Then obviously as the sea warmed up and the sea level rose, it washed the sand off, and we had these ridges of sandstone lying there, okay? And the corals have grown on top of that. Okay, so our reefs are not true coral reefs, because if you go to Australia, the Great Barrier Reef, they've drilled these huge geological cores, samples into the reef, 50 meters deep, literally millions and millions of years of coral growing on top of coral on top of coral. Ours is sandstone with literally just a skin layer of coral growing on top of it. Okay, so that's one of the things that makes Sodwana Bay's reefs unique. The other thing is the mixture of hard and soft corals. Okay? Typically, if you go and dive up on the equator in the tropical areas, probably 90 to 95% of the corals are hard corals, and only 5 to 10% are soft corals. If you go down to Alawal, there's no hard coral, it's all soft corals. Okay, here we've got a mix of 60% hard corals and 40% soft corals. So completely different to anywhere else in the world. Nowhere else in the world has reefs like this. Okay. And the other thing that's interesting is the way the coral grows here. Because we've got a rough sea, okay, compared to most tropical dive sites, the coral gets broken very easily. Okay, so if you have a look at our staghorn coral, for example, if you go to the Great Barrier Reef, staghorn coral grows this high. It grows like in little bushes, and it grows up like it, so it looks like a stag's horns. Have a look at our staghorn coral, it grows out like grass, so it doesn't get higher than that, but it grows outwards because of the wave action. So we've got corals that grow completely differently to other places in the world. Okay, so that's one of the things that makes Sodwana so unique.